So the longer the game progressed, the more gold there was in the game and the lower value the gold had.
So now this person starts to talk how in the beginning, for maybe half a year, he lived of doing this, playing the game. So for me this was interesting because it also means that the border between play and work is in a way is gone, at least for this person. And this is something that many people theorize about or talk about, that this is something that might happen with post-industrial societies, that work and play merges more and more, in a weird way. But at the same time, what he talks about is that immediately people in Eastern Europe found out about this way of making money, and so people in Bulgaria and Romania and so on did this job of farming gold. And then immediately when the servers opened in China, people already knew about it, and also in Indonesia and other Asian countries. And they started companies where up to 10, 15 people work in a company and play the game all day long. And they earn not a lot of money for it, but for some young kids it's still an interesting job because they think, okay, I can play all day. And so it literally is a way of earning money. So I found this quite intriguing. So this is, last piece I wanted to show you about game. And now I'll show you maybe 2 or 3 more short glimpses of forks, and then then we can jump on to the thing I tried to do here while being in China. The first piece is a bit tricky, I found, because I did a presentation in China before and many people did not know this, so I have to ask you if you know a phenomenon called Pokemon. Have you heard of this, Pokemon? You know it.
Yes, 口袋怪兽。Poke
是吗 ？Pokemon 是吗？
口袋啊，
对对对，Pokemon 就是口袋怎么翻来的那个？
就叫口袋怪兽。
口袋怪兽，对。
Okay. What's it called in Chinese?
口袋怪兽。
It's
literally
pocket monster.
Kodai Kwasho. Okay. So I found out about. I got interested in this because it's a global phenomenon. Again, you could find this now. It's not as important anymore, but maybe even 10 years ago, everybody, all the children in the US, in Japan, in China, even in Africa, many different places knew about this. So it's like a special universe for people, and also a kind of special knowledge in a way. People who know about this, they know about what each animal can do and so on. So I wanted to take this information and do something else with it, and I asked a person in Vienna. He is a very interesting person too. He's like a poet, so he writes poetry, and he knows language very well. Just a second. I asked him to speak.
白、国内、花油、saffron、smetbo、raupi、plura、turtok、shiki、glutexo。
So this person speaks all and this is important, the German translations of the names of 500 different Pokemon beings. And these names, again, the way they are made, they are produced, because obviously there is a team of people who sit down in the company, in this case Nintendo, who produces Pokemon, and they design the names. They use names that go back to old ancient Latin words or Greek words, or sometimes the Japanese word that they originally come from, and so on. And for each country you have different names of these. So I found this quite interesting, that there is a specific language that some people can understand, not only language but also inventory of or a universe in a way. That some people, if they hear this name, they will immediately know what this is about. They have an image of it, they know exactly what it is. And for many other people, it's like a weird, strange, magic language that they've never heard before. And this person who's speaking those names, he was never shown an image of Pokemon, he does not know what they are. So for him, he had to imagine what, when he was speaking the words, he kind of had to imagine how to speak these words and what they could be. So very much like kind of magic. And based on this piece, I did another piece that has a similar idea in the background. Also translation in a way of global media phenomena. And this piece is called Spellbound. So I don't know if you know the famous Hitchcock film, also called this name. But this works with another global media phenomenon. And I think you will immediately see what it is when I show you.
Axel. Alohomora.
Okay. So I'll go back to, there's two videos here actually. There's two people, two magicians, and they speak all the spells that exist in Harry Potter or in Harry Potter series. But I take one Japanese person, Japanese translation of the spells, and and one Chinese person. So in the end you have a Chinese magician like fighting in a way, like a magician battle.
This one is Chinese.
Yes,
Okay. And the previous one is Japanese.
it's Japanese.
That's Cantonese.
No, as far as I know she speaks Mandarin. But it's the translations of the spells. So
就是他把音节直接翻译，说这个音节啊。
就是它魔咒来的，因为魔咒其实本来就没有什么。
几级现行？
Yeah, that's right.
So the way this is installed, just to give you an idea, is to have two projections and also
Face to face.
face to face, literally, and the people, the audience is in the middle. So the spell could also reach you
阿瓦达索命。
if you're in the middle.
Okay. It's quite funny.
Yeah. So this is piece about this. And why did I do this? Because I got quite interested in this phenomenon of what is it? What kind of culture exists that connects many people? And quite often, especially in and this is my idea of media art in a way too. It's not necessarily art that uses the newest form of medium, but I think it's art that reflects what the medium does, and specifically the medium of the internet, to people and to audiences in the whole world. So now, because of this medium, you have a global audience for certain types of cultural artifacts. Not necessarily art, but maybe blockbuster film, or maybe Harry Potter, or maybe something like the Pokemon series. And I'm quite fascinated with this because many people can relate to that. They already know, and also because it's industrially produced, so there's people who design it, and it's owned by companies. So technically, I'm not allowed to take this. It's I could be sued, or it could be very tricky at times. But people do it all the time. People, as you're all aware, the fans of these things take those things and make them their own already. So it's a new kind of culture which is only possible with the internet or with this kind of media. And I'm just going to show you some other works which are maybe more look like traditional. It's not this, but more look like traditional images. Where are they? Let's see. Yeah, here we are. Yeah. This is, I'm sorry, I have to go full screen with this. No, I have to go, okay, I have to go faster, maybe return to that later. Just because I want to show you now. Okay, these are pieces which also work in the same idea, with the same idea. I tried to capture media universe and take the names and make a kind of list of all these names and kind of distill them, make them at least conceptually into a small kind of plate. So these are, for example, these are all in this specific one here are all drugs. All these words on this plate are all drugs which are fictitious. They do not exist in real life. It's like drugs or medicine that only exist in imagination, in books, in films, in comics, and so on. And there's another one which is probably a good example. This one here is a piece which takes all the names of I don't know if you're aware of Star Wars. Maybe I'm sure you're aware of this. Yeah. So I take all the characters of Star Wars universe, and it's a very large piece with all these names, and also maybe Dune, which in Western world was a very big kind of. So these are like more like traditional image-based pieces like this. This is Star Wars also. And while I was in China, I was also working on some more of a series of pieces with this kind of information approach, and I got interested in because I thought, okay, what is, and this is again still research, I haven't finished this yet. I was interested in what is the equivalent, which are the kind of global memes that will come out of China or have already come out. And one of them, obviously there's a lot more, one of them is the whole idea of wuxia film. You know, the sword and dagger, kung fu type film. Already started very early with the old Bruce Lee films and everything. But with film like Hero, for example, which is global blockbuster, this is one element of the same idea that Chinese culture, which has very old tradition, namely the novels, wuxia novels, and then all the Shaw Brothers films. Maybe there's maybe 400 different films, all kinds of different stories, which are then again taken up by people like Tarantino, for example, in Kill Bill. He cites many of these references, or you have a hip-hop group like Wu-Tang Clan, and the Wu-Tang Clan is like a big 90s American hip-hop group, takes many references from Chinese wuxia film. So I made one block of information about Wu-Tang Clan, and another one, which is this one, about all the, this is a collection of all the groups, the kind of secret societies that appear in